So America will spend this week saying goodbye to our 41st President, George H.W. Bush, who passed away at 94 this weekend. And the tributes have been pouring in from family and former presidents. And, you know, and looking at him as president, compared to, you know,
it's a different time.
You know, it suddenly puts everybody in a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and it reminds us in a weird kind of way, sorry, I still got the call, how you can still not agree with somebody, but be respectful of somebody. And that's the thing I think I dug the most, is him rolling with Bill Clinton, you know.
He seemed to be
taking care of
coming
business.
from a loving, kind place also, the man. That's what I am gleaning from what they're talking about, that he was loving. You know,
he was also known for
nice.
his humility as president, like, and he talked about it a lot, that he was there to serve the people. He's a combat veteran. He's actually our last combat veteran to ever serve. He lied about his age to join the military, the Navy, after Pearl Harbor. An incredible life of service to our country. He was a two-term congressman, ambassador to the UN, chairman of the RNC, United States envoy, director of the CIA, and 8 years as vice president, and then obviously became president himself. But his love story with Barbara Bush, more than anything, is what touched me. They did interviews up until just, I think, 2 years ago with Jenna, where they're crying about their love for one another, and he died 8 months after her, and I just think it's a really beautiful example of a life of service and a great love.
That's why this weekend, so true. I felt like it was more of a celebration than anything else. It was a celebration of life, as you said, Megan, of marriage, of a life of service. They were married 73 years. And Jenna, his granddaughter, interviewed him recently on the Today Show. And he said when he dies, the first person he wants to see would be Barbara if she goes first, then his mother, and then his 3-year-old daughter, who you remember passed away of leukemia.
Sad story.
What I love most about him is that he was a family man, and he always put his family first. So you said he was the first envoy of China to China, and actually my family lived in the same home 35 years later that he lived in. And they still talk about him there today as being humble, as being funny. He was funny, and he was real. And I loved his relationship with the press, because we talk about that a lot on this show. And they were tough on him. It's not like they were easy on George H.W. Bush.
The press is tough on every president. That's part of their job. They're supposed to be.
He had such a respect for what they did.
Yes.
And the role that they played. So I think there's so much to learn from his life. And I hope that the next generation, they may not know him the way that we do, the way we remember him, but I hope they learn from him.
I want to say one thing about him that was not picked up really, because as a candidate, he said, those who think we're powerless to do anything about the greenhouse effect are forgetting about the White House effect. And then he signed into law the Clean Air Act Amendment of 1990, one of the most sweeping environmental statutes ever. This president that we have now is trying to unravel everything that he did and Obama did. And if I ever become a one-issue voter, it will be about pollution and the greenhouse effect and the fact that...
Could we focus on the president, please? I don't want to talk about Trump.
Well, I do
we're
for
in
a
the
second,
moment
so
of... We're honoring a great president
Excuse me a
who's
second,
passed.
please. I want to talk about the difference...
honoring, but I'm not interested in your one-issue voter.
I don't care
when
what
our
you're
president
interested
just
in.
passed.
I'm talking.
Well, I don't care what you're interested in
We'll
either,
be right back.
boy. Okay?
My God.